The wealthiest individuals of the last century were built on oil. The biggest companies were all energy companies. Fast forward today, 4 out of the top 5 biggest companies in the world are not built on the old oil, but the new oil. And the oil of today is attention.
Rise in teens on TikTok.
The thing that is being pumped and drilled every day is the attention of the masses. You have 24 hours a day that your ears are open. You have 24 hours a day that your eyes are open. And so the idea is, how can we capture as many of those hours from as many people as possible, and the war for our minds?
For me, the stuff is all about like helping people connect.
The total amount of attention that exists is every human's eyes and ears collectively 24 hours a day. That is the pie. And they're fighting for it. People who are creating the platforms that other companies can come and drill, they're basically the digital landscape. They've enveloped the world. They're literally buying up the real estate of the collective attention that exists. The oil tycoons had to go and buy a state, negotiate, haggle with the farmer to get his things. The new world today, they don't need to haggle with anyone. They just take it. Scarce resources are the things that are the most valuable. And so oil was the scarce resource. And now, attention is the scarce resource. And so that's why attention is the new oil. A friend of mine, Ryan Fisher, just showed me a clip on his phone of a podcast that I did with him. And this is when I wasn't really, actually I didn't do any podcasts. I wasn't doing any speaking stuff. Like, all I was doing was building Jim Lunch and Prestige Labs. I was like, screw content, just run ads. I don't want to be known. I want to be rich and unknown. It's funny because he was like, and now you're not doing that. I was very against it. And then what happened, Kylie made the front of Forbes as a billionaire, and she was 20. And at the time, I was 27, and I think I had taken home 17 million in income the year before. I was on pace to do like 13 to 15 that next year in terms of take home. And I thought like I was hot shit. And then this girl, who's 7 years younger than me, fucking crushes me in net worth. And I was like, wow. And so it was just this huge belief shift for me where I was like, what am I doing wrong? My ego felt hurt, so I started protecting myself, and I was like, oh no, Kris Jenner's her mom, she's an absolute gangster, she was born into this royalty, it's not that she did it, it was someone else, and blah, blah, blah. Ego protected, I feel okay now. And then Huda Beauty sold a percentage of her thing for $600 million at the time. It's worth over $1 billion today. Conor McGregor came out with Proper 12, and 12 months later, boom, it was a $600 million deal.
Proper 12!
And then The Rock had Terramana Tequila, which is now worth like $4 billion. Just kept seeing this again and again and again, to the point where I was like, I believe something that's not true. And so I talk about how skills, beliefs, character traits are the 3 things that hold back entrepreneurs. And this one for me was something that I believed about the world, and I was functioning as though, and it was not. I always try and find those things because they construct our reality, and we make our decisions based on the things that we believe to be true. And so I basically was walking through a reality that was not real. I then read a book by Naval Ravikant, which is his almanac, which is really good, really quick read. And he talked about the 4 types of leverage in the book. Leverage is the difference between what you put in and what you get out. The people who make the most money are the ones who have the most leverage, because everybody has the same amount of time. It's just who gets the most back for their time. And compounding is that now that you've made that trade with your leverage, is it going to compound unto itself and get you even more back? Because compounding is a form of leverage. And you've got labor, you get other people to do stuff for you, which means you get more of your time back and you get output. Above that, you've got capital. So people give you money, you invest the money that other people give you, and you get leverage by extension. The last 2 levels are code, so you got software, and media. So if you think about this, you make a piece of code and then 10 million people can use it, that's leverage. You put one-time investment, you get infinite on the other side. With media, it's the same way. If I take however much time it takes me to make this video, one person, 1 million people, 100 million people can see this video, which is what gives it leverage. But when I saw that, that was what made everything click for me as to why these people were getting these crazy numbers when they had, like, I had heard Kylie had a team of 7 and she was doing 200 million a year. I was like, team of 7, and it was because she had a compounding leverage vehicle built within her business. And that was when I looked at my own businesses at the time and realized I had nothing that compounded, nothing. I almost became dissatisfied with the business that I had because I realized that whatever I wanted to do next, I wanted to have a compounding vehicle, something that multiplies unto itself over and over again. So Warren Buffett could build Berkshire Hathaway because the money itself compounds and compounds and compounds. And on a long enough time horizon, when you keep rolling the snowball, after you do that for 40, 50 years, you have a big fucking snowball.